Hi. Hi, welcome to OpenLearning's first ever live masterclass.
It's great to have you here.
Exciting.
We're just going to, as this is the first time we've done this, we're beaming in people from all over the world, we just need to make sure that you can hear us, we're connected okay. So I'm going to check the chat. Wow, look at this.
Yeah.
We've got
lots of people have joined us already. That's awesome. If anybody's having any trouble hearing us, please let's just send us a message in the comments. Yeah.
It looks all positive so far.
That's great. Hello everyone.
So we've got greetings from Malaysia,
Bangalore, India, awesome.
Tokyo, Brazil, South Africa.
Wow, so exciting. New Delhi,
Malaysia, Budapest. Wow.
That is great. All right, guys, my name's Nupur.
And my name's Nick.
We're learning designers at OpenLearning. We're from Sydney. Please feel free to tell us where you're chiming in from. Just leave us a message in the chat and we'll know where you're from. It's so exciting.
We're going to get back to that a little bit later. Now, before we launch into showing you how to create a course on OpenLearning in 30 minutes, which is our promise for tonight.
Is our promise?
Or this evening.
Yeah.
It's 5 p.m. here in Sydney.
Yeah.
We're going to briefly show you a more advanced course that has been created by one of our fantastic learning designers here in Sydney, actually.
Totally not bragging. We thought we'd demo like a super quick demo of a course that's on OpenLearning. It's a very successful course. We've had great feedback on it. It'll be like a nice little demo of what an end product of an OpenLearning course looks like. It's Nick's own designed course, and Nick Jones, if you wouldn't mind, could you just...
we'd like to think that this is the kind of course that you'll be looking at creating perhaps after you've experienced and tested out the ideas of about 3 or 4 of these webinars. We're going to use the metaphor of a house, building a house. If any of you have ever built a house, then you could probably tell us more about whether this metaphor fits or not, because have you ever built a house?
I've seen houses being built. Does that count?
That's enough. That's plenty. Okay. So I'm led to believe that you start with the foundations, and that's a solid block of concrete at the bottom of the house, and then you build the framework inside the walls. All of the fancy stuff comes later. Yeah. But if you don't have a solid foundation and framework, then what happens?
Well, the house might just crumble down.
The house is going to fall down, no matter how pretty it is with all the frilly bits on the outside. So today we're talking about solid foundations on OpenLearning. How do you set up your course, go through that initial stage, and give yourself the best chance of creating a wonderful, socially interactive course into the future as you start making the courses a bit more involved. So now, what we're going to do is
we're going to share our screen so you can see Nick's course. Some of you might actually be a part of his course, so that'll not be new for you, but for all the new people who've, there might be some of you who have never taught a course in OpenLearning or who don't know what a course looks like. Well, this is what you look like. Yeah, it's a ta-da moment.
So this is our facilitation course. We have a series of courses here on OpenLearning called the Rethink Teaching and Learning series. This is one of 3 courses on there. Now, I'm not showing you this because you need to emulate it. I'm just showing you this mainly to indicate the kind of flexibility and possibilities for social engagement that you can have if you design your course well. And the main thing about designing a good course on OpenLearning is that the quality and level of interaction, social interaction and student outcomes come from your ideas, not your skills. This is not like learning Photoshop or something.
That's right.
I've tried to learn Photoshop so many times and I always just go back to a pen and paper. It's just a skill that I've never been able to master. Anyway.
Maybe we can make the screen a little bit bigger. Yes, I think that might be a bit better. Awesome.
Yes,
that looks like
nice.
A very colorful homepage.
It is a nice colorful homepage.
Yeah.
So we've got a lovely green color. So these graphics can be fairly easily designed through any kind of sources. What I've done here on the homepage is create a nice, welcoming experience for students to arrive at. And that is in the form of an activity, a fun activity. Now, what you're seeing here is actually the end product of the activity down the bottom of this page. And remember, you're not meant to be following this, not trying to do it. This is just a very brief demo of a vision of the future of your courses. So what I've asked students to do is make a comment of one word at the bottom of the page, and other students will come along and comment one word as well on the previous comments. You can see I'm in there. Yeah. By the time towards the end, we'll have a long sentence that students have to try to co-create a motivational quote together, much like you might see on Instagram. Or,
yeah, that's right. There's plenty of those on Instagram.
Absolutely. So once students have done that together, they go up, create their motivational image and quote, and then post it in this box here, and then it automatically pops up in this gallery up here. So all of these faces, these are the students in this course have come together, co-created their funny motivational quotes, and created their own versions. And
that is my favorite, I think. It says, sleep might be good.
And I think that's an understatement.
That's my favorite.
Most
it really
certainly. Is. 5 people have liked it.
Give it a like.
We'll like it as well.
Awesome.
Okay. So this is a kind of fun, frivolous activity, but the aim is to show you how much student interaction you can get out of these kinds of tools that you have in the OpenLearning platform. Now,
all right, before we go any further, we'd just like to remind you to send us any questions you have or any comments in the YouTube's chat channel, or tweet us with OL Masterclass as the hashtag. And we'll respond to your questions towards the end of the webinar. We'll have a little Q&A session. Yeah, I think we're good. And your course example was great. I think now we should just dive straight into how to actually do it.
How to create a course.
How to create
in 30
a course.
minutes.
That's right.
Now, I'm just looking at our comments, going to make sure that everybody is going okay. We've got Sonia, can't see anything.
Uh-oh.
We've got Patricia, can't hear anything, but it looks like other people have seen and heard things. So based on that, I would say Sonia and Patricia, maybe take a look at your settings, your volume, turn it off and turn it on again, as they say, and hopefully you can join us audio visually very soon.
Yeah.
Antoinette has asked our first question that I'm going to answer: which LMS have you used? So that's an interesting question that we love answering, because first of all, we don't necessarily like to refer to the platform as an LMS.
We're so much more than an LMS. We do manage learning, we do manage content, but we do so much more. And
an LMS, for anybody out there, is called a learning management system. And that's essentially for teachers or lecturers to upload their lecture videos, PDF readings, and say, there you go, students.
That's right.
What OpenLearning has done is created our own platform. So this is not run on an LMS. This is a freely available social platform. And it's its own thing. It truly is. So I just wanted to get that understood before we started, that this is its own platform. and we're about to show you how to use it. So let's get
Shall
into
we do it? All right. Can we go back to screen share? Yeah. All right, I'm going to share the screen again. And all right, if anybody's having trouble with anything technically, just leave us a message. We're here on OpenLearning's homepage, where you'll first land when you go to the website. Where you need to head as a new course teacher is here, this big button that says Teach. You click on it, you go to a page that is for teachers, from teachers, written by teachers. It's got a lot of things. It's got teaching resources. It's got everything on our philosophy. It's got case studies. It's got pricing if you want to upgrade to paid support models. This big orange button, we're going to dive straight in and just click Create a Course, where the first thing you do is pick a course name and add it here.
Great, that was extremely easy. One thing I'm going to mention here is that we're going to move fairly fast here. You shouldn't be necessarily trying to be on OpenLearning and do this as we're going through. We're going to take it through fairly quickly. You'll want to think about your own course a bit more. We've sort of pre-prepared one, but of course this webinar will be recorded. You'll be sent the recording so you can skip back to any sections that you would like to watch again. You could watch the whole thing again.
Yeah.
I'll probably watch the whole thing.
If you'd like to see our faces.
I think I'll watch the whole thing. Anyway, so so just don't get overwhelmed here. Just sit back and enjoy as Nupur takes us through the creation of a magnificent course.
Absolutely. All right. The first step, the first thing to do, as I mentioned, would be to select a course name. Now, you'd like your course name to be brief but catchy, relevant, not too rambling. And we were actually thinking of what kind of a course to demo to you. And Nick goes to me and says that he's always wanted to do a course on how to survive in the wilderness. Is that right?
Yeah, well, every now and then I find myself stranded in the wilderness, in extreme environments.
Keep doing that.
Well, obviously I've survived so far, so maybe I don't need the course. But so we're going to create a course with a few modules about how to survive in different situations if you ever get stranded. So, for example, the desert, out at sea, etc.
Or in the bush.
This is one kind of course that you can create, but you can create a course about absolutely anything. We have just recently created postgraduate university electrical engineering courses for high-profile Australian universities on this platform.
That's right.
We have also created open courses to everybody in the world about how to do ribbon embroidery, for example.
Or wine tasting.
Wine tasting.
From anything to anything.
Absolutely.
The thing to keep in mind is that if you are passionate about teaching a particular subject that you really like, this is a free platform where you can do just that.
I'm passionate about survival. Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right, we're gonna name our course Survival Basics. Something to keep in mind here is that you might notice a course URL generated for you automatically. Now, the course title is something you can go back and edit if you think of a better one, or if you want to add or delete something from it. But the URL is a unique identifier for your course, and that cannot be changed. So once your course title is ready, your URL has a green tick, which means that's great. You can use this URL. It is available. Click on Create My Course. It takes a moment, just a little bit of a moment, and then.
So we're essentially right now, creating a new unique URL. Basically, we're creating the internet here.
That is right. You are creating a unique web page that you own, and it lives on our website. That's right. Really cool, and you don't have to pay anyone for it. No, not at all. That's the best part. It's all free. Anyway, so the first thing that you reach is the course setup wizard. Now we've created a wizard. There's unfortunately not a real wizard up here. It's just a list of things that you can use as a checklist to go through And clicking on each of these would actually take you to a how-to page for each element, like the banner or the course thumbnail. We'll go through each of these in just a little bit. But because you have Nick and myself today, you don't really need the course setup wizard.
The real wizards.
We're the real wizards.
We
here.
asked Dumbledore if he would come and do it for us, but he was busy. So we're going to do it for you instead. But today we don't need the course setup wizard because you have us. So let's move on immediately.
I'm going to move on to the. All right, let's go to the course setup. Now, the course setup is everything that you as a course administrator, as a course owner, needs to start setting up the course. We'll start with the very first one that is that's after the setup wizard. It's the outcomes. It's got a little star on it to signify how important it is.
Important? Why are outcomes important?
Well, you know how you mentioned when building a house, you need your foundation rock solid, just so that things don't come crumbling down later.
Yeah.
So one of those initial foundations of your course would be your course outcomes. Now, your course learning outcomes are basically action statements. They are what you want your learners to do by the end of the course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we're just going. Come back to me. What are you doing, Nick?
Oh,
I think Nick Jones is a bit lost.
I just thought you were going to say something so magnificent there that I wanted you to say. Everybody to be able to see your
I think
face.
we both paused at the same time.
But
yeah, cool. All right, we were talking about learning outcomes.
Learning outcomes and why they're important.
Yeah, learning outcomes basically decide how you design your course, how you design learning activities in your course, what you get your students to do. You want everything that you provide your students, including all the content and all the learning activities, to be aligned with these outcomes. If you have any assessments in your course, they will also ideally be aligned to these outcomes so that your students have a real sense of purpose. And by the end of the course, they are able to achieve what you set out for them to achieve.
So a course without properly described learning outcomes is like a race without a finish.
I just,
something
yeah,
like that.
Your metaphors are so on point today.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, analogies and metaphors. Awesome.
So we need to get back to the. No, I think we need to get back onto the.
Need to get back on that thing.
Oh, no. So.
Yeah.
So slight technical.
Yep. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Apologies for that. It was not my fault at all.
It's our first time, guys. It happens.
So let's head back to our course outcomes and objectives. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So we'll start with thinking of a course objective for the actual course. Now, this course is meant to be for students who want to survive if they get stranded in the harsh outdoors or something. I'm going to add a quick objective here. All you have to do is click, enter your text, and voila, you're done. Learning outcomes, you can have multiple learning outcomes in a course. For instance, so my course objective is to enable students to survive if stranded in harsh outdoor environments using a range of survival techniques. My first learning outcome is to utilize natural resources for food, shelter, and first aid. Now that is an actual achievable things I want students to do by the end of the course. Everything that I design in the course, everything I present to them in the course, everything I get them to do in the course will be aligned to each of these learning outcomes. So my second learning outcome is to understand the capabilities and limitations of your own body and how it'll react to different natural elements. My last one being explore and select from the best available ways of communicating with civilization and getting home safely. If you see here, there are outcome tags that you need to fill in there. Think of them as hashtags that you use on social media to tag your pages and your learning activities. You can just keep them nice and short.
And the use of these, we're not going to get into in this particular masterclass, but it's fairly obvious what to do there. Just make a one word or a few word tag for each of the learning outcomes. It becomes important later when we're looking at how student activity aligns with assessment learning outcomes, which we're not going to get into today. Also, one quick thing, I've been asked to let people know, apparently a few people are having a slight connection issue and the screen's being blurry for a few people. If you go to your settings on YouTube, that's the little icon of the cog thing, click on that, and then you can go to quality and make sure the quality is at least 480p or above. If it's automatically going to 240, then you might get a bit of a blurry image if your internet is going slowly. So there's a tip for all the folks out there. So we're going to save our learning outcomes now and move on to the next
Click
page.
saved, that's saved. So once your learning outcomes are set, you want to go and do the other settings. Make sure other settings are in place. I'm going to go to general settings. This is where you can toggle your course between online and offline. Now, when online and offline would really mean, online would mean that your course is open for enrollments, and offline would mean that, say, your course is in draft mode, you're still working on it, or you want to stop any more enrollments. Course name is where you can edit the course name if you want.
I think it's a good name. I think we leave it.
All right, we'll leave it.
Yes.
Fine. Course thumbnail is the image.
In truth, the name of your course is actually really important. It needs to be a combination of a clear, understandable explanation of what the course is and what it's about.
That's right.
And maybe the level, how advanced it is, but it also needs to have a bit of a marketing edge. Our name doesn't actually have that much of a marketing edge, but
yeah, it doesn't. But we'll come on to marketing and promotional bits in a bit when we do the course's landing page.
Absolutely. But your course name is really important. It's just like the name of a film. You can put people off right from the beginning. So
that's right.
Think about the course name.
That's right. And you can always come back to edit it here under your general settings. And a really important thing to mention while you're setting up your course, for people who haven't set up any courses on OpenLearning before, is that when you actually create a course on OpenLearning, what you're doing is also creating a class by default. Now you can have as many classes as you like in a course. The difference between a class and a course would be that a class is basically, think of it as a group of students who are going through the course together. You can have classes public or private. The public class is also called a MOOC, for those of you who know.
A MOOC is a massive open online course.
That's right.
Or is it massive online open course? It doesn't even matter because
either of those.
It's just a MOOC.
It's interchangeable,
so
yes.
A MOOC is, Google it. They're fantastic. We love doing MOOCs here because they are just, you get all people from everywhere, all over the world. But it is a certain type of course, and there's a particular way you need to design them.
That's right.
If you're a teacher with a particular class of students, say within an institution, a school, a university, a college, anything like that, you'll want to choose a private class, because that means that you'll be able to have only the students in your institution and class join that particular class.
Yeah,
so,
and it's easy to do that as well. Once you're here in your class's settings, all you need to do is click on change class, and you get all these options to an invite-only class would mean that the class would be exclusive to people you invite, which you might want to do in the scenarios that Nick just described. You can also set a fee on your course.
It sounds good.
It does, doesn't it? But of course, that's entirely up to you.
We prefer free courses for anyone, but
anyone in the world can join your course for free. Yes, yeah. Those would be awesome. You can set up when, and what time you want your course material to be available. You can always change this. You can always come back to these things later.
So we're going to leave that just having the one default class of 2017.
Yeah, just to remind you, you can have different classes. You can have paid classes running alongside free classes as well. So it's really customizable how you want to run your courses. All right, the landing page.
Great. So so the landing page, the importance of the landing page is that this is the first thing your students are going to see. And at this point, when they're seeing your landing page, they haven't enrolled yet. They're looking at your landing page saying, should I enroll in this course? What am I going to get out of it? And if they're going to get out of it that next time they're stranded in the wilderness, they're going to stay alive, then they'll probably enroll. If they are confused about what the course is about, what the learning outcomes are, if it's just difficult for them to understand, it's unlikely that students will enroll. So it's really important to be clear, to the point in your landing page.
To the point, and provide them all the information that you think a student would need to be enticed enough to want to join your course. The ways you can do it are all provided here. The first one being selecting either a promotional video or a promotional photograph to put in that students will see, that'll invite them to the course. If you do choose a promotional video, we'd encourage you to have Nick's, by the way, the guru on videos and everything.
I believe we might be slipping that into a webinar in either the next one or the one after. So
yeah, that's true. That's right.
And maybe we'll be sending out some special exclusive materials to subscribers of our webinars. So videos are important. Basically, personalize them, humanize them, it doesn't need to be flashy, it just needs to be, give students a sense of who you are, why you're passionate about the topic. We all know our favorite teachers in our lives have been the people who really cared about the thing that they were talking about. So you need to demonstrate that in your video.
That's right. So this is where your promotional display visuals go, a logo if you're representing a brand or an institution, a brief summary of the course. I have a brief summary ready somewhere for the survival course. So I'm going to add that somewhere here. Your summary might include stuff like what your course is about, the course outcomes, because you want at the very outset for your students to actually know what they're getting into. It's also something they'd like to read and think, oh, I do want to learn about that. Like, I do want to learn from this teacher about that. And that's the kind of stuff you'd put in there. You might want to put in key information like what the course duration might be, how many hours, how many weeks.
So students know exactly what they're signing up for.
Exactly.
And there's no surprises later on.
That's right.
Another thing is that we are actually creating this course right now. So once we've completed it, at the end of this webinar, we're going to be sharing the link to this course. So you can come back and look at the kinds of text that we have used here, the kinds of stuff that we've included. And so this is a sort of a best practice for the kind of thing that you can include, but obviously make it your own, stamp your personality on it.
Yeah, that's right. Make it your own. That's a good one. So this little bit here, this little bit here is any extra information you'd like to provide to students. So you've got basic word formatting tools here. Once you're done writing, typing in, or copying, pasting, all you need to do is go to the next bit. It gets saved automatically, so that's all good.
Course appearance. This is fun. This is a really fun part.
This is, yeah. So learning designers here at OpenLearning, this is our favorite bit. The course banner is key. It is this massive banner that you see on top of the course. It is also visible on your landing page, which we'll preview in a bit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to upload one. Survival basics. Aha, found it. So we've pre-designed a banner. It's easy to design. You can use free design software such as Canva.
Can one of our chat monitors put the link to? Actually, no. Sorry, I can put the link to Canva.
Yeah,
here.
you can.
Now this Canva, I don't like to do too many plugs, but Canva is a Sydney-based graphic design company. We like to think that Canva is to graphic design what we are to learning. They make it fun, easy.
They do. They really
free.
do.
It's just free. Spectacular. Spectacular. So canva.com, if you've got the most fundamental idea of how to use designing kinds of programs, then it's just jump over and have a play around. I created this banner in about 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Isn't it wonderful?
It is gorgeous. It's stunning. Something to keep in mind would be just scroll over this eye and you'll see the dimensions you need to keep in mind. Just enter those in whatever design software you're using and you'll have a banner ready. You might want to untick this little box if your banner already has text of your course. You want to keep your banner appealing but not too overwhelming. Have some simple elements of it on it.
Okay, so what else do we have? Background color.
Background
That's
color.
the color for off the sides, off the edge of your
that's right.
of your course. So
that's right. You might notice colors changing.
What is the tip here? Don't go too crazy.
Don't go too crazy is a good tip for anything.
It's a very easy way to make it look horrendous. So just a really pale, nice pale color, but you
yes,
can
that's right.
test it out. You can also put an image at the back there. But
that's right.
We don't
you want the focus to be your actual content, not loud colors. And
the
in the
theme
background.
color is great to choose. Let's choose one that matches our banner. Look at that. First off. Go with it.
It is the exact color of your banner.
Yeah. Move on.
All right.
Got it in one.
Scrolling down to course navigation. Now, the navigation actually refers to these tabs that you see on the left. You see home, announcements, learning activities, groups, and gallery. These are the tabs available to you by default. Now, this, along with literally everything else on the platform, is customizable. All you need to do, say, if you don't want the gallery on the left-hand side, is just drag it to additional pages. It's still there if someday you want it back, but
the students won't see it.
That's right.
So if it's in additional pages, that's your that's the storeroom for tabs on the left. Today, once again, we're not going to go into what a lot of these do. We're going to focus on two of them specifically. That is the learning activities tab and the home tab.
That's right.
The learning activities tab. This is where
all right, let me just open that and give you a little preview. It opens into this pop-up kind of a screen, and it's got collapsible, it's got really cool elements on it. I think the next step is actually to design course content. Let's go there.
Let's have a look. So far we've created the look of our course. Look at that.
The banner's uploaded.
That
is a stunning banner, Nick Jones. Well done.
I'm speechless.
All right.
So far we've created the shell of the course, but it doesn't have anything in it.
Yeah.
There are two things that we need in a course. They are sort of teacher-led elements and student-led elements, student-shared elements. That creates the social experience that open learning is able to facilitate. Now, this is the key thing that we're going to look at in all the webinars. That's basically why our company and our platform exists, is this facilitating meaningful social learning. When you're talking about LMSs, we don't believe that we've ever found an LMS that is able to do that. They're more content houses. Open learning is somewhere where student interaction can happen if you design your course well.
That's right.
What's What are we looking at here? What's this module?
Well, we're looking at something called a module set. So on the left here is learning activities, the little pop-up thing, it's a module set. Now, just to explain quickly what a module set and a module might be, maybe we can think of it as, maybe the metaphor here can be a book, right? So module set can actually be a book. If you think of it as a book, and if you think of your modules as chapters in the book, maybe let me name my first chapter as Survive in the Desert, because that's something you want to do if you're stranded in the desert.
Absolutely.
Maybe a second chapter or a second module on open learning is Survive at Sea. Inside the chapter, inside the modules, I have pages. There's a default page in every default course that you create. You can always click on edit page and say, and change the title of it. So I can obviously not type.
So if a module is a chapter, our learning activities tab is the book, our module is our chapter, and then you can create individual pages within that chapter. So this is the way you can sequence your course in a way that you know students will go through chronologically, or if you instruct your students, you can just create a bunch of different modules that they can do in any order they'd like. It's all up to you.
That's right. So it's very flexible. It's how you want to design your course, the learning that you want to provide your students. Once we are here in the edit page view, these are tools that are only available to you as the course administrator. There's a lot of things happening here. There's a lot of tools. There's widgets on the left.
Widgets?
Yes, widgets.
What's a widget?
Think of it as a tool or an element that you can add on a page. You can have as many of them as you like.
So if we're talking about a house, a widget might be bricks in the wall, a brick, a building block.
A building block, that's a good one. It is the building block of a page. By default, you get one building block. It's the text widget where you can, we've got little editing guides and stuff on the default page. What you can do is select and just get rid of things.
So now we have a blank slate to start the little piece of content we're going to put into our first page of our first module, which is about surviving in the desert.
That's right. All I did was I typed in the page title. I'm going to make it big so it stands out. My content goes here. I can type it. I can do lots of things with it. I can add images. Let's try adding an image. Aha, that's a good one. It's an oasis in a desert, which is something you need to find if you want to have any hopes of surviving.
Right. I was going to say I reckon that looks a pretty easy place to survive actually, but maybe if you're over the horizon somewhere.
Well, the trick is finding the oasis.
Yeah.
That's right. What I did though was I went to the images settings. I can do things like add frames, add shadows, make it float left or right, auto size it. That's all the things you can do. It's like Microsoft Word.
Yeah.
But a little
if you can use a word processor, you can use the text widget. In fact, if you can use a word processor, you can use OpenLearning. It's just a matter of playing around with it. It's very hard to break anything. There's never going to be a major problem with you clicking all the buttons, with the images, making things, seeing how great you can make it.
That's right. Another thing I'm going to try and do on this page is change the page's thumbnail. All right, I'm going to put the Oasis image here as well.
It's actually a good, fairly relevant picture for your Oasis because it's got nice greenery growing out of it.
That's right.
That's
right.
Yeah, I didn't see the images that were chosen before this.
I think it's too late. You have to live with them. Once they're done, I'm going to click on.
I reckon we stick with that one. Stick with that thumbnail.
The thumbnail, the little default one.
Let's create another page.
All right. All right. Okay, I'm going to finish editing and click on save and close. Oh no, the Oasis image. Anyway, let's try and create another page. Food and shelter in a desert. Yeah.
It's very easy.
Yeah, that's really easy. All you need to do is create a new page and it's ready. It's got its own unique URL. It's got a default widget where you can start typing things. What we're going to do here is maybe add like a video. How about a video?
So that's a video widget. So essentially, you've just stuck dragged a video widget below the text widget.
That's what I did.
You can have text up the top, images, all that kind of thing. Stick in the URL for a video, and then it will all come together.
That's right. Making the heading a little big. All you need to do in the video widget is copy paste a URL from YouTube or Vimeo. You can even upload your own file if you've got a video that you've shot. That's literally everything you need to do.
So that's finish editing.
It's how to survive at sea.
Well, they're on the Oasis.
That is right. Food and shelter. Maybe I can change it to her. Never mind.
That's all right. So now we're going to look. What I want to know is what kind of experiences our students have had surviving at sea in the desert. So maybe we can go back to that last page and we can set up something that our students can interact.
That's a great idea. Okay, what I'm going to do is add another text widget at the bottom and maybe say share your survival experiences below. How about that?
Yeah, that's good. So maybe experiences or stories. So if people don't have their own experience, they can share a story about someone they know. And this will do a lot of things. So if we click view up here on the top left, this shows us our final version of our page.
Let's go view page.
Let's go view page. So this is what your student will see. One thing to note, I know in other sort of programs there's a student view and a course creator view.
Yeah.
In OpenLearning, it's basically course creator view, except the students won't see the course setup buttons.
All the setup buttons that you can see, they are not able to see, along with this little bar at the top where you can see the layouts and the settings.
Other than that, it's exactly what students will see, so you don't have to bother faffing around with student views and other views. So if we're asking students to share their survival stories below, so food and shelter in the desert, and then we're going to watch a quick video about how to survive at sea in our Oasis holiday resort. And then every single page has a comment section at the bottom that you can use for whatever purpose you would like. This is not a dislocated forum off to the side where people post, hey, does anyone have the answers?
That's actually one of the USPs of this platform. This is how we really mean when we say social learning, don't we?
Absolutely. So Nupur has a survival story.
I do.
One time I went to Club Med.
This is Nick typing on my behalf, by the way.
Survived. Okay, so this is the other time Nupur went to the Oasis in the desert last time. Okay, so Nupur has now responded to the activity below. Other students can reply to that, begin discussions, like it, do whatever they need to.
Yeah.
Now let's do one more student activity. Let's create another student activity.
All right, let's go back to content. Let's do that in the next module. Survive
in a boat.
In a boat.
In a boat at sea.
Right. right, I'm going to go on view page. Now, you can click on either edit page or view page to actually edit. You're the course administrator and you can
do whatever you want.
That's right. You've got rights and privileges. Nobody can take that away from you.
So our widgets on the left, they look colorful and they look pretty, and you haven't told us about most of them.
I haven't. That has been a lapse on my part. One of the most important ones I'd like to share with you are the share widgets. Now, the share widgets are our favorites. They are where you can get your students to share texts, images, files, anything with the entire course.
Yeah.
Let's try and do one of these things. Post image.
So basically our content images, the sort of light blue ones up the top, turquoise, are content images as in the teacher or course creator supplying students and the course with content, be it text, videos, podcasts, lectures, files, as in PDFs. You can link them, put them actually in context instead of just in a big reading list. That's what the content widgets are. The share widgets are essentially the same thing, but they operate in the opposite direction. Students then send back into the course all of their ideas, their thoughts, their responses to questions. And what is the coolest thing about how these share widgets work? I think it's this.
Yes, that is the gallery. That is the best thing about share. Sharing's good, but what's more fun is actually seeing what others have shared. So I've just put in some instructions here. I was thinking of an activity where you could ask students to share, say, a few things they'd like to take with them if they ever get stranded on the sea. I've added those instructions here. Nick, would you mind actually going to the course and maybe demoing a little share widget action?
Let's have a look.
I'm going to, let me just invite you to the course. Wait, I have to turn it online. All right, I'm going to have to turn it online.
So we're online. Our course is officially online and happening.
It is online. Maybe we can share the link.
Yeah, let's put the link out there. So what I'm going to do is courses. So everybody, we are currently going to just go back to the link. Actually, you guys can do it as well. If you put in this URL that you can see, http.
So that's the openlearning.com/courses
/www.openlearning.com/courses/survival-basics. Survival-basics.
Do you want the page link as well? /survive.
I'll go to. So I'm heading over to this.
Okay.
This course. It looks wonderful. So right now, if you can head to this. If you don't have a OpenLearning profile, you may need to create one before you log into this course that we've just created. But I'm here now. I'm going to find this activity, student activity, and I am going to take part.
As a student, how exciting.
Okay, one
All right.
Here we go.
I think shortly we should see our first student post in this gallery.
And the question is, what 3 things would you like to take with you on a boat if you get stranded?
Yeah.
And those 3 things have to be...
those are the only 3 things you have. Those will be key to your survival.
These are the only 3 things I have. Okay, so let's refresh the page and see if we can see my contribution to the course here. Oh, there we go. Okay, so what 3 things did I take? That's
did you just click
my coffee?
The first 3 things you saw around you?
They were conveniently placed, yes. But also, I would take my coffee because I have a pen, and if I was stranded in a boat, then I would need to write lots of notes to put in the bottles to send out And so I need the pen for that, and I need the coffee to stay awake to write
do
all
those
the
things.
notes.
That's right, and the earphones.
The earphones I'd use to
listen to music.
To
get in the vibe.
Yeah, get in the vibe.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Great photo, Nick. I'm going to comment that.
Look at this immediate feedback.
Yeah, going to like and give it a comment. That's a quick example of how, here's my comment, how quickly interaction can actually work in your course. Just to give you a preview on what your actual schedule or your content, your learning activities look like to your students, it's like this.
By the way, I've just uploaded to the chat the link to this course. So jump in and if you already have an OpenLearning login, then tell us what 3 things you'd take with you on a boat. Take a photo. If you don't have an OpenLearning login, this is a great time to get one.
It's a great time. Yes, this is one of the best times. Do it.
So basically, what we've done just then is create the foundation and the framework for a social interactive course about surviving. Yes, it is a little bit bare bones.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you are an expert in your field, then you're going to have a lot more content, great, engaging, exciting activity ideas that you can set up for your students as the experience. But hopefully you can see that with this set of tools, with the way it's designed, with the interactive elements, with the share widgets, that this is a different kind of platform. We're not talking about content dissemination. We're not talking about reading Wikipedia. We're not talking about listening to 1-hour lecture videos that everyone fast forwards through. So
that's right.
How fun, engaging, and social your course is entirely up to you as the course creator.
Yeah, that's great. So those are the main things you need actually to get your course up and running. One last thing that I'd like to actually show our viewers is the homepage. We haven't gone to the homepage yet.
We haven't gone to the homepage, no. We kind of forgot about that.
We did forget about the main homepage. That's the first page that your students will land on, that you will land on if you actually click on the link that we've sent you. This is where you'll land. Now, the homepage by default contains some text. It's placeholder text that you can use to fill in. There's some tips that people who've already created courses might not need, or maybe you might. Maybe you want to explore how to edit pages on a deeper level. You can have your welcome messages, your key course information, key information on how to navigate for new students as well. Now, for the homepage, it's really nice to keep it warm and inviting. Maybe have like an icebreaker activity. Yeah,
when we're designing courses here at OpenLearning, we like to have a really fun icebreaker activity on the homepage. It doesn't even have to be anything to do with the content of the course. The purpose of it is to get students involved, so that we want every student to be commenting, replying, because that sets the tone and the expectation that they will do that for the rest of the course. And we want them to get to know each other, just like you do in a real classroom. But here, students can do that whenever it pleases them and in whatever way it pleases them. So
that's right. Yeah, and you can use the comments section to what? It's good. All right, Nick was just reminding me that I forgot an apostrophe. Here's a grammar Nazi for you folks. All right, do I have a good? I do have a good
image. Look at that. And it matches the banner. It's all coming together.
It is. All right, I'm gonna give it a few settings to make it look better. Java, not today. Yeah, that's about it. Here, you'd ideally want to either get rid of a default placeholder text that you don't need, or use it to add information.
Okay, so now that we've set up our homepage, if you scroll back up to the top, so this is where students will come back to, and we remember from where we set up our modules, they all live in this activities, learning activities tab.
Yeah.
This is where your course lives. Everything else is sort of outside of that, is kind of different. Announcements, they're straightforward. You can make announcements to every student in your cohort. Through that tab. Groups is another topic, but obviously it's extremely flexible, and being a social learning platform, the group capabilities are unmatched anywhere and completely flexible, designed by the teachers and students. But always remember that coming back to this learning activities tab, that's where the course lives.
Yeah.
So, oh, look at this.
We've got comments. Oh, Robert Parker.
A little longer than 30
Stickman.
minutes for very well, I think we can get out of that by saying that after watching this, you can create your own course in 30 minutes.
In 30 minutes. Believe in yourself.
Dual,
you can.
dual meaning.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I think we're done with the how-tos of today.
Yeah. So everybody has
Move on
access to that course. So now what we're going to do, once I work this out again, is answer some questions. We've been looking at the chat, and we've got some.
Yes, thank you so much for sending us all your messages and questions. I think we're going to take some of the questions now, try and answer them.
Absolutely. So,
yeah.
Send us through some questions.
Yes, any pressing questions.
When you have them. 1 second. I think we had a question. I think we had a question earlier on about the tags. Someone was asking, right. Well, what was that? Go back to the tags. What's happening?
That's right. So we'll have another future webinar where we'll explore that side of things in more detail. But just to give you an idea, a tag is how you'd use a tag on any other social media platform. It is how you would maybe label pages or certain activities with a short term that you can click on, and it'll kind of take you there as well. Yeah, so because learning outcomes...
It's like a reference.
It is kind of a reference label.
And the way you would actually use it is when you're going through and looking at students' work, we would have your learning outcomes. So say in our learning outcome that was about finding food in various places, every activity that we set up in the course that included students coming up with ideas about finding food in the wilderness, we would tag that activity with hashtag resources, I believe it was. And then as we're going through and assessing students' work, all we need to do is bring up that hashtag, and immediately a gallery will populate with every one of that student's work related to that learning outcome. So it's called outcomes-based assessment. We've provided a really seamless way of doing it, and frankly, it's amazing that more people don't realize what outcome-based assessment is and how straightforward.
Well, hopefully we're planning on revolutionizing the way assessments work.
That's the idea. We're starting small. Okay.
So many more questions.
Okay, we've got first question. Krishna Mohan, why OpenLearning as a platform to create a course, and why not others such as Udemy?
Well, they're all platforms to create courses. OpenLearning is free, and it provides you tools to make your courses, your teaching that you provide, student-centered and socially engaging, which a lot of other platforms do not really. So
I would agree with that and say that most platforms are designed on this idea of presentation of a video followed by a multiple choice quiz.
Yeah.
And that's how...
Yeah, and if you've ever done any of those things, you know how surface level, even how boring they can really be, because they're not getting you to think about what you're learning on a deeper level. They're not really relating to your real world. to anything that is relevant to you. It's just a slide or a video and a multiple choice question, which you're going to promptly forget about as soon as you close the window.
Yeah, so ask yourself, I would say, have you ever done one of those courses that are set up like that? Mm-hmm. And if so, then what did you get out of it, and how much did you benefit from that experience?
That's right.
So it's research backed as well, the way our platform has been designed, but that's a whole other story. But we are certainly a different kind of offering. So if you head to the OpenLearning website, there's some information on there. If you look at about OpenLearning and our pedagogy page, which might be heavy, dense reading, but at least
read it.
Do read it, and at least someone's thought about that kind of thing for you. So
that's right.
Yeah. So that's question one. Question two. From Faye Patel, how free is OpenLearning? Free and open. So how free is it?
How free is it? It's pretty free, actually. To create a free course on OpenLearning, you are not charged anything. There are no hidden fees, no hidden charges, nothing that we're going to come up with later and charge you. We don't take your credit card details at the outset. We don't do anything of that sort. When it actually starts charging you is when you start charging your students. For instance, you set a class in a course where you have a fee set up. That is when the platform would actually charge you 15% of what you collect as fee. That is it. There are no more charges.
That's it.
No more fees. Yeah.
So a great idea, if you have some course ideas and you're looking to monetize them in the future, set up a couple of free ones, test some ideas out, see what works, and then when you think you have a product that's really worth people paying for, then go to a paid model, and that's a great way to set up. So it's more free than most free things. Okay, question three, Robert Parker, social learning platform. Maybe they're asking what a social learning platform is. Okay, so a social learning platform.
Yeah, would you like to answer that?
I can answer that. I would say if you take other websites as an example, all the most successful ones have a social element these days. We're talking about YouTube and the comments at the bottom of the YouTube video. Yeah. We're talking about Facebook and the fact that Facebook is built upon the contributions of the people on Facebook. If Facebook was just the employees of Facebook posting stuff they're interested about, I have a feeling that I certainly wouldn't be on there. That kind of thing. So essentially, and as much as Facebook, YouTube, etc., can be very lightweight, just because we are pitching this the idea to you of a social learning platform, it doesn't mean that people are talking about what they had for breakfast, taking photos of their avocado on toast.
You could do that
if you want.
If you want to.
It means that, say you're studying quantum mechanics, it says that going from being a textbook that you read and take in,
and expect by magical osmosis for the learning to kind of get downloaded in your brain.
Yeah, there's a two-way process where maybe the textbook's on there. You can read the textbook, but what we're interested in is what students are able to do, how they can practice that thing, how can they talk to other people about it. If you have ever been to a really interesting lecture or talk, you go to the lecture or talk and you take it in, but then the best part about it, or film even, the best part about it is, and the part where you really realize what you think about something, is when you go somewhere and discuss that with other people who had the same experience as you did.
Exactly.
So that's what we mean by a social learning platform.
What we also mean is that the learning doesn't always reside in what the teacher provides or presents. It also resides in the comments section and in the gallery on the page, where students are talking to each other, they're sharing things, they're sharing their experiences, they're making a pool of resources. That is also where learning can reside.
Absolutely. And so create a course and you'll see for yourself. Okay, we're going to try and churn through a few questions here. Question from Moses.
Next question.
Oh no,
Moses.
question from Antoinette. Does it have themes and can one modify Open Learning to our own needs? So you probably saw that you can modify it to the
You can actually brand the course. Your banner can be quite branded. You can use theme colors, background colors to match with your style guides, your brands.
So a resounding yes to that one.
Right. That's right.
Moses, do you suss out the students' learning style to empower them to learn my chosen subject I desire to teach? Do you suss out the students' learning style? So I think what you're asking is, does teaching on this kind of a platform allow you insights into particular students? And the answer is absolutely yes, because you can see they do stuff all the time.
They're talking to you live. That you would be there to see all their feedback, and we really encourage having reflective and feedbacky sort of learning activities thrown in the course, so that you as a course creator can also receive feedback from students as to how they're going in the course, whether you might need to adjust a few things in the course to suit your learners' learning styles.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. Revisit the tags. We did it. Hopefully that's not a revisit. Okay, Faye.
Revisiting it.
If these are free courses on your website, how do you monitor where and how these are used and by whom?
As a course administrator, we didn't have time to take you through all of the admin things that you can view as an administrator, but you are able to see all the students who have signed up to your course, how much of your course they've done, and
anyone can create a course about anything, and anyone can do the course. That's sort of that's the nature of the internet.
Motto.
Yeah, it's motto: free and open.
Free for all.
Okay. Open Learning supports open enrollments or invite-based enrollments, can be done like in the confidential courses. So yeah, that might have been asked before we went to the classes section.
Yeah, that's right.
So when you're setting up your classes, you can have you can say whether they're private, open, invite only, etc. from there. So in fact, you can create one course, have an open class, multiple private classes. You can do anything you like.
Pretty flexible.
Stegma, do you need to remove formatting when pasting from Word?
Not necessarily, but as soon as you paste, you'll see if any formatting actually goes haywire. In my experience, it does not. So if you've got bold, italics, underlined text, that should stay as is. Though,
but there is some really cool formatting stuff in there as well. So you might want
on the OpenLearning.
Yeah, so you can paste it in and then make it look even better in OpenLearning.
Yeah, you're going to have to re-upload your images though. So that is something you cannot copy-paste from Word. You'll have to re-upload all the visual elements that go on a page.
So it's good to just have a folder for all your media stuff to upload.
Yes.
Okay, is there any intellectual property issue if we use YouTube videos in our MOOCs content? No, because YouTube videos are already in the public domain. So they're out there. If they're on YouTube, anybody can look at them anytime they want to. So go for it. That's the beauty of a MOOC.
Though, as a general comment on that thing, if you're using anything that is designed by or owned by any other artist and you're sharing it because you really like it, feel free to credit them. Yeah. It's always good.
It's always a good idea. Always photography, all that kind of thing, a credit to the original creator. That's the best thing to do. Also, if you're charging for a course, then potentially, and you're using copyrighted material, then there may be some issues, but YouTube and lots of images and other resources are out in the public domain anyway.
That's right.
Okay. Looks as if this platform is open to most online resources. Are there any restrictions? So we probably just covered that. I don't think so.
Yeah. If you're using restricted material, please make sure that it is okay to use in an educational setting on other platforms, and credit them.
But in terms of formats and that kind of thing, I don't know. I'm looking forward to testing out some virtual reality material on OpenLearning very soon.
That's next level.
Absolutely. So who knows where the future will take us. Okay, are there features that will allow for podcasts and video recordings within the course? So yes, should we won't show that. That'll be in a future.
Maybe in the future.
But
you can upload your video recordings, your audio recordings as files, and students can click on it and play and listen to your podcasts.
So it's very easy.
Yeah.
Okay, another one from Faye. Good. Usually all countries have restricted use of public data. How would we integrate and share resources from the internet? So you have to look at the laws of the country that you're in.
That kind of vary.
But often if you're using something that's already on the internet and out there, as long as you credit the creator, then go for it. I mean, if you start making $1 million a year from your course, then you're probably going to have some people knocking your door down trying to get some money from you, but don't let them in. No, I don't know. You'd have to look at the laws of your
That's right. It kind of
country.
vary from case to case in this.
Okay.
In this case.
If the course was online and I turn it off, can students who are in the course still access the content or not?
A very good question. Once you turn your course offline, it stops any further enrollments, but the students who have already enrolled can always come back to the course. Does that make sense? They can always come back to the course because as a student, I mean, if you were in the shoes of a student, you would want that all the learning material that was once available to you is always available to you, because it's kind of something you signed up for. It's where you shared a lot of things. It's where you formed a community.
I'm looking forward to going back later on and seeing what you guys would take on a boat when you're stranded out in the oasis. So that's all there. Yeah. We call those learning artifacts. And again, that's something that we're going to look at in a future webinar. But that's one of the great things about the platform, is that it is a sort of receptacle for all the evidence of learning.
Evidence of learning. And you would want to go back to the evidence, to all the great times you had in the course if you were a student. And that is why even when the course is offline, as a student, you can still go back if you had enrolled earlier.
Right. Yeah. Okay. More questions. Do I have to do screen recording using a different application?
Screen recording?
Screen record. Maybe that's for uploading videos. I would say no, because we have our video widget. Once you put in your video widget, you can just click record, do your welcome video or any kind of video, click stop, and it automatically uploads it, and it's there. So no, you don't have to know anything other than being able to click record. So that's easy.
That's right. It's all available.
Can I? Here's a controversial question. Can I upload PowerPoint files into the content?
Well, the short technical answer is yes. I'd like to counter question that with why would you want to do that?
I think a lot of that's who knows, you may have the most marvelous PowerPoint presentations in the world.
If it is the most marvelous PowerPoint presentation, then by all means share it.
But don't
limit yourself to just that. Is the thing.
PowerPoint is great for live presentations to have as a backdrop.
Yeah.
We don't believe that PowerPoint is the best way to do an online course.
Yeah.
So the best way to do an online course is something that we've briefly introduced this evening, and we'll be going through with the webinars. But if you look at the Rethink Learning and Teaching series that I mentioned earlier, it's on OpenLearning's website. We'll put the link up to that. In fact, maybe someone could put the link up now. That would be great. Yeah. That outlines our belief in how to create a good course.
That's right.
I don't think there's a PowerPoint presentation in there, but yes, you can.
No, by all means, feel free to have your presentation supplement the learning in the course, but don't limit yourself to just exactly.
Okay, so Hazlaha 2008. Hi, what is the difference between the share
Add text and
text and
comments.
comments.
Ooh, good question
Great
again.
question.
Both are kind of text comments that that your students can share and other people can interact. The comments thread is actually a thread. It's like a YouTube or a Facebook thread that can be long and rambling. Things you share in the shared text go in a gallery. So if you would like for little text snippets or little image snippets to be visible, at one glance, the gallery would be the way to go. Or if you'd like a more conversational thread kind of thing going on, then comments would be the way to go.
Yeah, and the other thing is that by default, there's a comment section at the bottom of every page. Text widgets, share text widgets you choose to put on. And the other thing is you can mix it up. Why not have both, as the little girl in the taco ad
that's right.
here in Australia says. You can have a shared text widget, and then you can have another activity below that based on select the work that one or two other students have done in that shared text gallery and do that activity in the comments below. So you can double it up and that kind of thing. Okay, a few more questions. Harry asks, are there assessment modules, multiple choice? So yes, we have basic and more advanced quiz and exam features. Yes, we have a very very capable assessment design system. Again, it's a bit too much for us to go into
That's
tonight.
Right. But feel free to explore, create a course, feel free to explore the quiz widgets. You can, if you really want multiple choice kind of quizzes in your course.
There's all sorts of stuff. There's a crossword widget. You can create crosswords.
There is all sorts of stuff. Just go and see. There's a lot of stuff.
It's a lot of fun. Do a widget exploration test.
That's right.
Okay, Robert Parker and Rishni Meena. Two-person question, learning and engagement analytics. Do I have any option to download analytics?
Well, there are a lot of analytics you can view, such as page visits, time spent on different pages, time spent in the course, progress in the course for each and every student. So
number of comments made,
number of comments made,
all that kind of thing. So and you can download them absolutely. So in terms of analytics, it's rich and gives you a lot of detailed information and useful information,
useful information to how much interaction has actually taken place in your course, not just how many students clicked and went through the course.
Our last question that I've got here. Second last question.
More questions coming through. All right, second last.
Everyone's still hanging in there. What about student evaluation? Let's say I want to get a video or paper or essay from an individual student. Can I do that so that I could give a certificate, for example? So that's again, that would be done with the assessment setup probably. So if you had a class of university students and you need them to all submit an essay, say at the end of the semester, you would set up and you would put a tag on that essay, linking it to a learning outcome, which might be a major learning outcome. And then if that share widget that essay is going to be put into has a tag on it, then in our assessment setup, that will automatically populate with every individual student's individual piece of work, which you can then look at, give feedback to, and then that's sent directly back to the student with their mark and feedback. Also, a few people have been asking about certificates. So we have a sort of tool that measures students' progress. And yes, once they get to
there's a few kinds of certifications you can set up in the course. The most basic one would be to give out certificates as soon as your students complete the course. It's like there's like a magical robot sitting in there that counts progress, and as soon as students complete it, they get emailed a certificate.
Couldn't that just be a normal robot?
No, it's a magical robot. Well, that certificate can have
you
have
can send certificates to people.
You can really customize it.
And that's all. All of this is available in the free thing. There's no multi-tiered sort of.
Hidden charges.
To get the fun stuff, you have to pay for it. It's all available in the free model.
Right.
Okay. Stekma Any drag and drop options for assessments?
Drag and
This
drop
can be the last
options.
one. Oh no.
Drag and drop options. Would that mean? Do you mean? What does that mean? Do you mean?
Drag and drop options for assessments. Maybe.
Oh, is that the drag and drop kind of an activity? Yes, we do. We do have. We've got category and matching widgets as part of the whole quiz widget.
It's a pre-designed sort of activity.
Yeah,
so that's the same thing with the crossword widget, for example.
Yes,
the
that's
matching things widgets. And we have a guy here who loves making them. So if you have any great ideas for cool widgets, once you've played around, then
send them to us.
Send it to our hashtag OL Masterclass, and our developer here will love.
We'll get on them immediately.
Yeah, for sure. So, last question: are there any log reports in OpenLearning? Are there any log reports in OpenLearning?
Log reports, do you mean analytics? We covered analytics just now. Log reports, if you mean how many students have logged into your course, how many have enrolled, how many times they've visited a page, yes, that's all available under analytics that you can export as well, share with your friends, show them off, show off how many students have actually signed up to your course.
Is that a log report?
That's a great thing
I
to
don't
do.
actually know.
Yes.
Unfortunate to finish on a question that we didn't have the answer to, but log reports.
Well, if we completely missed the point, just let us know.
Okay, so all of your further questions will be answered. Just send them to our social media channels on our Twitter hashtag OL Masterclass.
Or message us on Facebook. Either way, whatever your preferred choice of social media is, or both.
And keep an eye on those also for announcements about our future masterclasses. The next of which is going to be on the 5th of September.
It's also a Tuesday. Because
also a Tuesday.
We love Tuesdays.
The first Tuesday of every month we're having these. So the next masterclass is going to be, again, on the social angle. And because we believe that this is a new thing for a lot of people, we're going to leave the uploading basic content, video, PDFs, text, up to you. Basically, all the normal stuff that you would do anywhere else. And we're going to do an entire masterclass on how to design activities that get students really excited, engaged, having a good time. So, and learning much more than they would from just reading
That's right.
PDF.
So that'd kind of be step 2 after you've set up the bare bones of your course, which we kind of took you through today. That'd be how to take it one level up and get the actual learning experiences that we've been harping on about, the social learning experiences, how to actually do that in your course.
What you need to do before the next webinar is to create your own course. It's
as right. Said, there's a bit of homework.
Don't worry. It can be about anything fun, or if you're doing if you're currently a teacher, then just go for it. Make a proper course that you're going to teach. So what you need to do is there's a button here, a little I button. Click on that button, which will take you through to the course creation page. The exclusive material that we're going to send you out is a basic course plan, which gets you, so before you're on the platform, fill out your course plan with your ideas, your outcomes, and then once you've got that, jump onto the platform. Once again, just click on this little I and it will take you to the course creation page. Once you've filled out your basic plan, create your course and fill it out, and then go crazy and play around with everything, put in crazy widgets and do what you can. And then the next, actually what we want you to do, once you've created your courses, send us the links to the hashtag OL Masterclass hashtag.
That'd be awesome.
We'll have a look at some of them and we'll feature some of them at the beginning of our next masterclass. So there's a little, that was a good idea, wasn't it?
I just made it up on the fly. That's a great idea.
Anyway, so for now, we're going to say good night.
So just to recapitulate on the exclusive material we'll be sending you is the course design plan, as well as we're also sending them another thing. It's the multimedia thing. It's a quick how-to guide on how to get audio and video in your course. I think there was one of the questions was about that, so that guy would love it. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, so look forward to them. They'll be in your inbox soon.
Along with the actual recording of this webinar, if you want to replay it. And
if you want to continue the conversation, as they say, head to Twitter. All your questions will be answered in good time. And we will see you on the 5th of September.
See you then.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.